G'day guys, goeiedag, hoe gaan dit? My name is Wildkard. Thank you for watching the Wildkard Rugby Show. Like, comment and subscribe. And yes, everybody knows it's not about how hard you hit. It's not about how many penalty goals you kick. In the world of rugby, it's about how hard you can take those penalties, take those hits, and you keep scoring tries. And that, ladies and gentlemen, it's what the Springboks or the French needs to do this weekend to win this monumental rematch that we've all been waiting for since 2023. And this was, very controversial, the game. Referee Ben O'Keefe at the time was criticized for a lot of decisions, especially the one at the end. Huaga Smith on the hand on the ground, not on the ground. One hand on the ground, one hand on the ball. Was criticized a lot for the referee saying that, hey, he wasn't somebody's body weight. But in reality, having one hand on the ball was determined enough for the referee at the time, Ben O'Keefe, to be a legitimate jackal. But yeah, he came down just basically one penalty, the difference between the two sides. And once again, this will be a monumental occasion. That was the home Rugby World Cup game that, knocked out the French team. Lots of broken hearts, children, women, everybody was crying. And this is one of those occasions I think a lot of the French public has been waiting for to get a taste of their revenge. But hey, we are here from the Southern Hemisphere. We do not take prisoners. We do not, take things lightly. Rassie Rasmus would not come into this game wanting to, give one back to the French. He wanted to prove once and for all, right, most importantly, that the game at Stade de France and Rugby World Cup was not a fluke, but a testament of his skill and a testament of the Springbok might. And he can do that this weekend by winning once again in front of the no doubt sold out French fans at Stade de France for this monumental rematch of the decade, at least the decade. And yeah, and obviously the Rassie Rasmus has been building with the team. He's put on probably the best combination of players coming into this game in the last few rounds. The French, however, is a little bit hamstringed by their own, stupidity behind the scenes with, the top 14 basically holding the national team at gunpoint. The French is not really able to field up a team that is consistent from the Six Nations to July and to building into this November Test series. So there's a lot of chop and changes between the players. Obviously, the French played a really, really good, what do you call it? Very, very, really, really highly contested series against the All Blacks in July. But that was with a B team, with a different team. Some of the players, I think, made into this team. But most of them, like the center, Gal Fiku made it to this team. But the players in the Six Nations is now mixed up into the fold as well. So Fiku was not in the Six Nations. He was in July, and now he's combined. Galaxy has combined some of the players in the Six Nations, some of the players in July into this team going into against the Springbok in the mix, and also with a bit of mix of some newer players as well. So it'll be interesting to see who has more consistency. I think in terms of having a consistent team, being able to work throughout the year, the Springboks definitely has a huge advantage. And, it's the French. They made the decision. They made their bets. They're going to have to slip in it. It's no excuses for losing this game because you can't access your players. It is within the November test windows that, you have your players at home. So, yeah, this is do or die for the French team. And Galtier, I think the players will be under a tremendous amount of pressure as well to impress the fans at home. Now, the French did do really, really well in the Six Nations, especially after Antoine Dupont got injured. And, to everybody's surprise, the French team did not just kind of like fall off a cliff without Dupont. They actually built to another level with some different strategies. In fact, I think they played more of a, what's the team? The team that Penal is in. It's, anyway, they kind of moved away from having Dupont being like the sole playmaker to more of attacking on the sides, with a lot of kicking down the side sort of style in the Six Nations. And still, despite losing a game against England, I think it was, they were able to pull themselves back together and win the Six Nations Championship to finish off strong, despite not having Dupont as well. So this is a huge occasion. Both teams have a lot to prove on the line. Lots of ego. And like Rassie Rasmus playing his mind games, actually did not announce the team. He ended up announcing this list, supposedly, that he had to come up himself 20 minutes prior to the French team being announced. I mean, I felt like he probably had some inside information. But you know, again, he misspells people's name deliberately. I don't know. So is he actually smart enough to predict the team to perfection, or is he just playing mind games that he had someone giving him the names and he's just, you know, deliberately misspell people's names here and there to make it look like he's making his own predictions? Who knows? It's Rassie. He's playing mind games, and no doubt a lot of people will be arguing, accusing him of, you know, potentially knowing that you're getting inside information for the players prior to the announcement. But who knows? I mean, 20 minutes is a pretty close window. I mean, the team's definitely settled 20 minutes prior to the announcement. It's completely possible someone, you know, slipping in, getting a look at the team and then sending it to Rassie prior to the announcement. It's not completely out of the question there. There's no need to be foul play. Like, they might just, you know, the press release might just be a little bit delayed as a result. It's quite normal. So, you know, the results has been obviously the last one by 1 point. As Stade de France in Rugby World Cup quarterfinal, it's still a loss of pain for the French side. The year before, the one before that was 2022 with the French one. But overall, the South Africans has run a bit of a dominance over the French in recent times. I can't believe we have to wait, you know, almost 2 years to see this rematch from the Rugby World Cup between these two nations. And yeah, this is 100% one of those games that everybody's licking their chops to see. Weather this weekend at Stade de France might be a little bit rainy, so not sure how that's going to affect the game plan. Obviously, the French, since Dupont has left the game, he likes to exploit the wingers out wide a little bit with the kicking game. So maybe the rainy conditions could hamper some of that game plan, especially, you know, with Penald and Bielbieri on the wing. May not be able to utilize that speed to the maximum effect because of the rain. The referee, obviously, it's not going to be Ben O'Keefe again. I mean, surely, if French really wanted to prove a point, they should bring back Ben O'Keefe. But Angus Garner has been a really, really good referee as well. The best referee, in my opinion, in the world. He's an Aussie referee. Definitely has a bit of, I think he's refereed a bunch of Springbok games, has done really, really well. I think he might favor the Springboks just a little bit, not because he's going to be biased, but I think that Springboks has a really good understanding of how he likes to adjudicate things. He has that super rugby style, but he's really, really concise and really, really good at giving out directions to his expectations on the field. He's really good communicator on the field, and I just think that the Springboks has a better line of communication with him from their previous outings. So I think he might. I don't think he will like heavily favor the Springboks, but I do think that the Springboks might have a slight advantage in terms of being able to get their opinions through on the field. We'll have to wait and see. That's just my predictions. So in terms of the results, obviously this was a bit of a write-off against the All Blacks, despite really, really courageous efforts from the French team. Wasn't able to upset the All Blacks. It was, there was a great opportunity. I think the French actually brought their A team to this series. They could have made history, but top 14 comes to priority in France, which I don't think is right. So in terms of Six Nations, after losing to the England, they were able to dominate their opposition to win the Six Nations regardless. So really, really impressive, and that was without Dupont as well. So we'll have to see how they're going to be able to build that consistency with the break in July. It still remains to be seen for the Springboks. So for the French, the Springboks, on the other hand, has been consistently building. They have some ups and downs. They had some pretty easy match in July against the Italy B team. I thought it was really disrespectful for the Italians, but they did able to have some very, very challenging times against the All Blacks, against the Wallabies at home. But I really feel like they're starting to finding that setup that they're really starting to like. They're really starting to dominate with Sasha Vanberg on Zulu at 10. So let's have a look at the players that will be ready to play. So it is also Siya Kolisi 100 test cap this one. And just looking at the Springbok team, I think this will be an absolutely massive occasion as well, just for the for Siya's 100th test cap. So let's have a look at the players that's been selected to represent their respective nations. Lots of new faces, especially in front rowers for the French. So we'll have to see how that's going to fare up against the South Africans. So we've got Baptiste Dorcio comes in number 1. Julian McCon, the veteran now, at number 2. And we've got Regis Montaigne coming in at number 3 for the French. The Springboks do have, obviously, Ox Nche is injured. So Buan, the Fat Thor, Fenter, Fat Thor comes in at the loser position at number 1 for the Springboks. He's been pretty good. I saw he's been off the bench. He's been off the bench quite a bit, but I think this might be his first start for the Springboks in the number 1 jersey. Malcolm Marx returns to number 2 jersey once again, and finally Thomas the Tank Dutoit comes in at number 3. I think this will be interesting to say the least. I think that the Springboks should have a bit of advantage because Thomas has been just been very dominant overall. But we'll have to see. The French love their scrum, so you never know. They might just do something. They might just pull a rabbit out of the hat and put a lot of pressure on the Springboks regardless. The French locks has been also starting to move into this combination now. Thibaut Flamand comes in number 4, and Emmanuel Miefeld, the youngster, comes in at number 5 for the French. For the Springboks, has opted to go back to some of the former experience. Eben Nesbitt comes in at 138 test caps with number 4 jersey, and Lou Diacha, the two old combination from the yesteryears, comes back in the 4-5 combination to back up their front rowers in that scrummaging. In the blindside flanker for the French, we have Anthony Gelok. Anyway, he used to be in the. I'm pretty sure he was in the diving team in the French diving team a number of years ago. But hey, he's playing rugby now. And then we've got Sia Khaleesi on open side for the Springboks. Paul Bodekin comes in number 7 for the French as well. Just some changes said in open side flanker position. Peter Sef Dutoit in the blind side for the Springboks. Once again, just Mr. Reliable. He's been named like one player of the year or something ahead of Dupont. Just being outstanding for the Springbok. He hasn't really played club rugby either. He only plays test rugby at this point in his career. Finally, number 8, Mikhail Gillard. I think he played in July. Tell me if I'm wrong. Comes in at number 8 for the French. And Jasper Visa, the headbutt machine, comes in at number 8 for the Springboks. He's been really, really good since that Reka suspension. Really made a big effort to redeem himself to impress the coaching staff. Coming number 10, we got Romain Intermac. He's been out. He was out for a long time. Getting back into the fold. This will be. He actually missed the game against the Springboks in the Rugby World Cup because of an injury leading into the World Cup. He missed the World Cup completely. So this is like the redemption that he wanted to see as well. He didn't get a chance to put the Springboks, and now here he is getting the chance to use that speed and agility and test himself against the best in the world. Sasha Feinberg Ngomezulu comes in number 10. He's been probably the best player I've ever seen in a green and gold jersey. So I have to see. And this is maybe the biggest match of his career. So we have to see if he's going to step up to that play, or not even step up to the play, but just be consistent at the level he's been performing at. Will be just outstanding for the Springboks. Coming in number 11, Luis Bieri, and this is just one of the key weapons for the success at Six Nations for French. His speed on the wing, they say you can coach, skill, you can coach everything. You cannot coach speed, you cannot coach strength, and he has speed in abundance that just out of this world. Some of that kicking game as well, he can just chip over the top, just almost works like magic every time. So something that the Springboks definitely has the weapon to deal with. Coming in at 11, Curly Alensas, again, someone who's just as good with the speed and just as good with little chip chase game himself. And this will be he's going to be obviously on the opposite side of the field, but this is going to be a battle of the wingers for the both sides. Gao Fiku comes in at 12. He's rotated out of favor for the French. Now he's back in favor as the veteran in the inside center. He was instrumental, I guess. Was the captain as well, pretty sure, in July against the All Blacks. So here he is again at number 12. Number 13, Pierre-Louis Rassie comes in for the French as well. And I think pretty sure these two are the two against the All Blacks in July. So they get the nod once again here in the against the Springboks here in November. The Springboks, let's go back to the World Cup winning combination. Damien Delinda, number 12, and Jesse Crew, number 13. The same setup they did a couple of years ago at the Rugby World Cup. The rush defense, the physical carry, the physicality game, just completely, by far the best in the world right now. For these two, the best two center combination anywhere on the planet, and then this is going to be a different matchup for them as well. I'm pretty sure in 23, Dante was 12, and then they had maybe Fiku at 13, or maybe they had Moefana at 13, but it was different. Definitely not Fiku and Brassi at the Rugby World Cup for the French. Number 14 is another guy that's been absolutely outstanding for the French team, Damien Penaud. Oh my god, the amount of pain that this guy's inflicted upon everybody, including the Wallabies in the past, it's just been absolute weapon for the French. The Six Nations as well. One of the biggest contributing factor was Penaud in terms of his just speed and agility. Again, an unheard of capabilities. You know, to recover a loose ball is just again incredibly dangerous when it comes to giving him some space out wide. Cheslin Kobe, again, someone who's who's again just incredible matchup. Someone who's just, if you give him an inch, he will take it and score on the other side. Just all about the battle of the speedsters and battle of the kicking game and clash of styles here for the two sides. And finally, at number 15, Thomas Ramos will be the goal kicker for the French. He's just the golden boot. Anywhere in your 50, he'll pop that through. So yeah, this will be again a battle of the goal kickers, and he's really good under the high ball as well, with a fairly decent kicking game and counter-attacking abilities as well. But he's up against the second greatest Springbok in the history of the Springboks. That is Damian Willemse. And he's back in number 15. He had a bit of a niggling injury, I think a thumb injury. Anyway, he's back in the fold, so it's good to see. Again, he was instrumental against the French, famously for calling the scrum. After calling a mark, he won't be able to do that anymore. They changed the law. But again, he will be relishing an opportunity here to present himself against the French side. He was off the bench in that game, so this is his opportunity to start against the French at Stade de France. Coming in the back line now, we got Guillaume Cramont, his debutant at number 16, the hooker position. Jean-Baptiste Gros, a veteran now, comes in number 17, and Dorian Aldegheri, loading up the bench with more experience in the front rowers, comes in at number 18 for the French, recognizing, showing respect for the bomb squad. Johan Huebler comes in number 16 for the Springboks, and Jorge Steenkamp comes in number 17, and Wilco Low finish off at number 18. Like these, Steenkamp and Wilco Low are just absolute scrummaging machines. So the French is showing the respect, putting a bit more experience on the bench against that setup. Romain Taufefe-Noah comes number 19, the veteran now, always impact coming off the bench. Coming up number 19, Hugo Arudal comes in number 20 for the French. And finally, number 21, Oscar Jegu. It is a 6-2 setup for the French. Jegu comes in as a flanker, I believe he is. Is he a flanker? Back row, yeah. So definitely a flanker or number 8 here for him. For the Springboks, Rahia Snyman comes in number 19. Ruan Nokia, number 20. And my favorite player right now, ever, Andre Esterhuizen. Apparently, it's not a hard G. Esterhuizen. Andre Esterhuizen is just the most amazing rugby footballer I've ever seen. He will be here number 21, potentially as a center if injuries required, but most likely as a flanker. He played flanker last week against Japan. I thought he didn't get a turnover, but he actually did, to some of you guys did point out. So yeah, really, really impressive. But then again, that was against Japan. So is he able to do that against French? We'll have to wait and see. But boy, this guy, absolutely my favorite player right now in the world, Andre Esterhuizen. He actually is taking the responsibility of Hugo Smith as well. Obviously, Hugo Smith had a lot of controversy in the last match against the French, but I think he was I think he had a bit of a niggle based on reports, just get a bit of break from Smith. But Andre will come on, plenty of speed, plenty of size, and plenty of opportunity to prove that he's worth coming off as a crucial player off the bench as a bomb squad setup. Number 22, Maxime Lucu for the French. For Rassie, Grant Williams coming in number 22. Nicolas Deportre comes in number 23 to finish off the French setup. And then Mane de Bock, once again, will be coming off the bench to shuffle up that kicking game a little bit, with potentially, there's quite a number of ways to set this up, because he come in, what's his name? Sasha could potentially go to fullback, and you could potentially have Esterhuizen go in as center with Damien Willemse go to center as well, two new centers. Yeah, it depends. It depends on what the game requires. They can actually do a lot of versatility changes with the back line. They can, with Mane de Bock coming in at 10, and Sasha could basically cover everything else, and then Willemse could, yeah, it is just Rassie's wet dream, plenty of diversity everywhere, and being able to keep the opposition guessing what he wants to do. So yeah, my prediction, like Mark Twain likes to say, history does not repeat itself, but it does rhyme. So I think the Springboks will win with a bigger margin. Yeah, I think the consistency that they're able to build over the last 12 months will see them with better results than the French. And yeah, so I think the Springboks win this one, 25 points to 15. Let me know your thoughts, like, comment, and subscribe. Before we go, just want to quickly touch upon the Wallabies game and the All Blacks game, because I don't want to make another video on this. So quickly try to do this as well. So Wallabies playing against Italy. Pretty big setup this game, but big returns. Tom Hooper. Despite Tom Hooper returning, we don't have James O'Connor, still don't have Len Ikitau. Will Skelton apparently joined the camp a bit late, so he won't be playing this game either. But yeah, some of these players are going to be remembering that time when they lost to Italy for the first time. So Carter Gordon, I'm pretty sure he was there when they lost to Italy the first time, so he will be getting his first nod back for the Wallabies. This is the first time he's back since going over to play rugby league. So he's going to have an opportunity there. Some changes here as well. Suaalii obviously never played against Italy in the past. Tori Kud didn't play in the losing match in the past as well. Italy, however, has brought back the full team. It didn't bring out they had the B team against South Africa in July. They brought back the full A team this time. So we'll have to wait and see if that's going to pay off for them. The July venture, some of these players going to get better. But yeah, really hope the Wallabies don't go down again. I have a really bad feeling about this one, to be honest. The referee is going to be Andrew Brace from Ireland. I think he's pretty good. I think he might have a bit of advantage to the Italians because he's a Six Nation referee. Weather's going to be perfect in Italy for this one. And but yeah, overall, Wallabies has P. Samuel back, which is a good finisher off the bench. So loaded up the bench a little bit. But yeah, Gabisi here, Liner. I was wondering, yeah, is Luis Liner injured? Sorry, what's his name? Michael Liner Jr., the other one. Tom Liner. Is Tom Liner injured? I think he might be still had a bit of injury. I thought it'd be funny to see brothers versus brothers here on the opposite side of the fields. But yeah, I think the Wallabies should have enough, but you just never know. You just never know with this. The Italians like to play a bit of a grindy style, and when they have that passion, back themselves up, they can really pull out some really good performances. But then they can also do really badly. Big wild swings here. So hopefully the Wallabies win this one. My prediction for this game: Wallabies win this one, 30 points to 25. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. I think this will be a relatively high-scoring game, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Finally, the other big game this weekend is the All Blacks versus the Scotland. Scotland apparently never been in the All Blacks for 120 years, and then some article came out suggesting that Scotland actually has beaten New Zealand in a game of rugby after the Second World War, in a kind of like celebration end of the war game against basically some of the All Blacks. Some All Blacks players and mostly soldiers, and they did win that one in a bit of an upset, people thought. So, but technically that team was considered the Kiwis, not actually an official All Black national team. So in the history books, Scotland has never officially beat the All Blacks, but Scotland has actually beaten New Zealand in a game of rugby, or I guess representative of New Zealand in a game of rugby in the past. But hey, this will be an opportunity. The All Blacks has shown a lot of weaknesses in the Rugby World Cup. Scotland obviously was massively featured in some of their in the Autumn Nations campaign. But they do seemingly have some injuries. I think what's his name, the guy that I thought was really really good for the Lions, Hugh Jones, not here. Tupulotu not here either. So, Tupulotu is here, sorry. Hugh Jones is not here, so yeah, we'll have to see. But they do have Finn Russell, Blair Kinghorn all in tip-top forms. So there is an opportunity here for the Scotland team to actually win for the first time ever against the All Blacks. There might be a bit of a chink in the armor for the All Blacks, especially without Geordie Barrett, without Scooter. Scotty probably not as big of an impact, but Geordie Barrett, in my opinion, probably the best All Black player in the back line right now, at least. Maybe not in the entire team. In the back line right now, at least. Just, yeah, a little bit funny. Just want to say, Darcy Ray, he actually looks like an actor pretending to be a rugby player. Is this actually a picture of him? But, yeah, anyway, you can let me know that in the comments. But, yeah, overall, not really too much to say here. The weather, it's going to just be cloudy in Edinburgh, at least not raining. And finally, the referee is going to be an Aussie, Nick Berry. So it might be at a bit of advantage here for the All Blacks because Nick Berry has worked, thoroughly with the Super Rugby teams in New Zealand side. So in terms of understanding his expectations, the All Blacks will have a slightly better interpretation of that. I do think that the All Blacks is building up as well to, they're building stronger and stronger. And I think in my opinion, there was a shift in mentality against the Irish for not just kicking penalty goals. And I think that Scotland will definitely come into this game thinking they can win it, kicking penalty goals. If Scotland actually back themselves, they don't have Van der Merwe. So if Scotland actually have the mental fortitude to back themselves to push for tries against the All Blacks, I think they will find some weakness, but I don't think they will do that. I think the All Blacks, on the other hand, might actually put the hammer down and lock this one again away for the win. I think the All Blacks will win this one 21 points to 12 against the Scotland side. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. Like, comment, and subscribe about these predictions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys this weekend for the reviews. Have a good one. Cheers.